What's up, y'all? It's Phenom back with another message. I'm just here to talk about ways how we look at love. So this first step that I'm gonna talk to you guys about is loving yourself. So an unconditional acceptance of loving the self is loving all spectrums of the self. What do I mean by that? So the way I process it is there's 4 parts. There's a spirit, the subconscious self, what you're influenced by, and after that it comes through your soul, which is your conscious self, where you're emulating that type of idea or knowledge because your thoughts are never yours. And then we got the mental, how we think about that part of the conscious self. And then you gotta love also the physical, the physicality of the self as well. This weird fleshly fluid that we're just in every fucking day. We just don't realize it. So loving all those 4 things will go a long way once you figure out how to intertwine the 4 between each other. And then after that you got a whole. So in other words, you could have all these bad times or traumas between your experiences in the past through a loss of loved ones or violence, in the paradigm between the physical that just affects the self, because we're all just having this weird, I don't want to, fuck it, I'm just going to say it, this weird sex between each other, just contacting each other and keeping ourselves, having like new ideas and stuff like that. And that's how we just get influenced day by day, So in terms of talking about love too, is also when you have someone that you really like or love, there's already a distinct love connection between them already, that's when you have a contact with this other soul being, it's like there's this unconditional kind of love where you just kind of get to know them, and then you feel like you need to have this like similar type of experience, but from the opposite end of the spectrum. It's like 2 railroad tracks, but the 2 trains are just going in the opposite directions, But the purpose of this is to learn from each other's journeys and to empower each other. Or you're just there to kind of show each other shadows of yourself within contacting with each other, so you can utilize this information and knowledge to process into a type of wisdom where you could disinfect that type of virus out of the self. So just like many things, they come and go. We live and die each day. Like, you ever thought of an idea where you just kind of thought it was really good, but then you forget to write it down, so it just like sticks in your subconscious self, like it dies. After that, like a phoenix, the idea just rises above again out of nowhere. That's how it happens. So let's get into the meat and bones about this topic about love. So why do we love to love? We love to love because it makes us happy, feel fulfilled, full. It gives us like a sense of reason, a kind of purpose, a deep desire, passion, But sometimes we can indulge in that too much, and it just becomes a problem, It's like eating the same candy that you like, but eating too much of it will cause some problems within your immune system. It's just not healthy at all. Once in a while it'd be great, but you can't just overindulge in these type of things. So, coming back to relationships and love itself. The kind of experience that I see in my environments, in my surroundings about love is that they have these conditional requirements that they want from a partner. And a lot of these conditional requirements are going to be breaking. Like they're going to be broken because it's going to make people feel uncomfortable, like each other feel comfortable in a sense. And it just doesn't feel natural at all. It just feels like you're in a classroom full of rules, and if you tend to not do that homework, then the teacher's just gonna blow up on you, And eventually that type of love will not last. It just becomes kind of toxic, And then sometimes even abusive too. Physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, all those human type of spectrums that we have psychologically. But to understand this, not understand. I want you guys to understand this situation. Is that there's a root cause why there's a connection in the first place. Is because, like I said, there's this unconditional type of love that we have between the two. Just by knowing the person, knowing the soul and the spirit and the energy of that person, and we're just vibing with them, right? But then it was gonna lose its attraction if we just kind of remain stagnant within this type of bond that we have between those two partners. Those partners. Because not everything is perfect, But there is also a balance between accepting the person for who they are and also communicating on what you're feeling uncomfortable about, But that's another different video that I just want to get into. But because we're just talking about love, we're not talking about the the spectrums of the relationships, So let's say like you really just get yourself out of a really toxic relationship. What happens next? You feel like you're in despair. You feel like you're just emotionally drained. You have this like sense of depression that just kind of takes over your whole self. The spirit, the soul, the mental, the physical. The way we kind of recuperate this is a type of knowledge and lesson between the two, showing the shadows, whether you don't see it or not. But there is always a reason why this event occurred. And primarily, it might not just be you, but there might be a lack of something between that relationship that you have with that person, That's why when I said before, everything lives and everything dies. once you get this concept, then you have this whole full aspect, the meaning of life. Because you can't be afraid to die. Not physically, but just letting old things pass away and just learning from it, sprouting from that situation that you just, that drastic situation that you gone through. So you're back to yourself again. And you have to go through this process of relearning and aligning yourself back up again. That's the correct way that I see myself doing, So you have to rebuild yourself, get back to your regular space, that type of orb that you kind of built yourself to be in when you were at square one before you met that person, but in a whole different broader level. Because every relationship you go, you're pretty much taking steps of evolution through understanding this type of own philosophy that you go through life. You're pretty much setting up, you're just pretty much writing in your internal book. And there's a lot of chapters, and it looks like a motherfucking encyclopedia. The reason why I listen to encyclopedia is because you made the book. You made this motherfucking book of experiences that you dealt with, because that is part of your journey, And until you realize and come to the conclusion that you have to intake this type of experience and learn from it and develop from it, that's when you become truly powerful. You become truly powerful of subconsciously knowing and consciously knowing your mistakes and rising above of it like a phoenix. And with this information, you could help these people, within your environment, or the person that you really like. You have a nice little, I don't know what to say, but just a person that just means well to you, My bad, I got a little distracted. I need to work on that as well. Trying to keep myself in a composure of what I'm saying, because I get sidetracked a lot. Other than that, that's just a start. That is just a start of getting to know who you are and who you want to attract. Because what you build internally in this character that you portray in this type of world will manifest a situation where you will find the person that you want. And you don't have to go looking for that person. Yeah. You won't have to go looking for that person. And it's going to be a whole completely different new chapter of the story that you have with this person. You gotta enjoy the journey, not just the destination where you want it to be. Because the destination itself could alter at any time, any means, depending what kind of paths within that relationship you want to put it in, That's all I gotta say. I hope this is not too complex for you guys to understand, because the way I kind of understand things is kind of very broad and deep, but I'm learning how to work my mind into connecting all of them together and putting it into a simple type of meaning. Alright, that's all I have for you guys. I'm signing out.